What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I'm opening another old game. We're having a look at WCW Nitro, an official wrestling trading card game released by Wizards of the Coast. Like a proper trading card game based on WCW. Now, for those of you that don't know wrestling so much, WCW used to be a competitor to WWE, or for a long time WWF as it was then. WWF became WWE, won by a mile. They now own WCW, which doesn't exist anymore. But if you go, for instance, on the WWE app, you will be able to see a bunch of old WCW pay-per-views, etc., because they're now owned by WWE, which is a little bit weird. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, see, you told me this is an opening. It appears you've already opened the product. Now, full disclosure, I've already recorded this video. And the face cam, because you'll see I'm recording two lots of video here. The face cam worked perfectly. The opening did not. Now, had the opening worked, I could have just done the video about the face cam. It would have been fine. I ain't that pretty. But the wrong one worked. But I'm fairly sure they're both recording now, and to be honest, if they're not both recording, you'll never see this anyway. So let's get rolling. Now, this is a two-player starter set, and you get a box which has, it's about the right dimensions. Weirdly, back in the day, you used to see Wizards would kind of do boxes, and it was like this for Harry Potter, and it was like this for X-Men, etc., where you would get this size box, because they would have both the decks side-by-side flat in it, rather than having both of them kind of chunky outwards, as is more normal nowadays. Now, the first thing that's weird about this game is that you get yourself game instructions and you get yourself a playmat. Now, the playmat is absolutely gigantic. My lovely Dragon Shield playmat here is barely going to be able to keep up. No, it depends on the dimension. But there is an awful lot of writing on the playmat. Also, lots of lovely pictures of half-dressed wrestlers, if that's what you're into. Now, what is kind of cool is that both sides actually have the basic rules on. You win when you've done enough damage to the other player that the other player's deck runs out of cards. So it's weirdly kind of a milling game. You're trying to deck your opponent out. When I've got more time in the future, I will be bringing you how to play and history videos about this game. This is the opening. We'll get to kind of the history and more of that later. Incidentally, both sides of this, as you're looking at it, are the same. Weirdly, they've actually printed it double-sided, and there's nothing different on the other side. Seems like a slight waste of printing, but I suppose they had to put something on the other side now, didn't they? So what you basically have is Nitro cards that you've got to use to play the card, number of action points it costs to play the card, and damage that you do. And it's a game built around decking people out, which is very cool. Now, here's what's weird, because we've also got an instruction book. And if we start with the instruction book, you know, what is a trading card game? What's not on the playmat? You see, what they actually do is they basically go, right, you know what? Most of it's on the playmat. Use the playmat, and then we'll show you a few extra things in the book. And then there's like a full-on FAQ and glossary in the back. That's weird. The basic rules are not really in here at all. It's very strange. This section tells you everything you need to know to play a full WCW Nitro game now that you've learned the basics from the playmat. So they expect you to read the playmat before you get to the instruction book. How is that a good, efficient way of doing things? The answer is, I don't know. Now, you do actually get two full decks. One based around Jeff Jarrett and one based around Buff Bagwell. And here's my favourite thing about old old Wizards of the Coast games. First edition. Now, I'm fairly sure this is a starter deck exclusive card, and it's a first edition. And we saw this the other day when we were opening the Looney Tunes deck. Let me find it. I've got it off to the side here. There was an exclusive card that was first edition. Well, yeah, but it's a starter deck card. They're all first edition. It's like the Machamp we saw back in the very, very original days of the Pokemon TCG. Remember, back then it was made by Wizards of the Coast, where every 2-player starter deck from the base set came with a first edition Machamp. And every child that opened it got super excited and was like, whoa, I've got a first edition Machamp! Until it turned out that there wasn't really such a thing as a non-first edition Machamp. We could go down a whole history lesson here, we're not going to. This is a WCW video. So you get yourself a Jeff Jarrett, this is a wrestler, and basically you make a deck based around a wrestler. Jeff Jarrett is your wrestler. You then get a whole bunch of move cards. We've got Big Splash, and another Big Splash, and another Big Splash, and a 450 Splash, and another 450 Splash, and a Flying Elbow from the top rope, and a chop, only one Flying Elbow apparently, and a Face Punch, only one chop apparently, and another Face Punch, and another Face Punch, and another Face Punch, and a top rope punch. Apparently Jeff Jarrett is well into punching. And another top rope punch, and another top rope punch, and another top rope punch, and a regular punch, and another punch, and another punch, and another punch, and a missile drop kick. It is weird, most starter decks tend to have kind of fairly similar counts. Here we got like 4 of some of these and then 1 chop and 1 flying elbow. And another missile drop kick and a dodge. Now these are different, these are thunder cards. So you've got your move cards, which are kind of, hey, look at me, Mara, I'm doing stuff. And then your dodge cards are like, hey, I'm going to stop my opponent doing stuff. So we've got ourselves a couple of dodges. We got ourselves a block. Oh, apparently just the 3 of those. And then a bunch of Nitro cards, which are basically one of the currencies you use in the game. So a bunch of Nitro cards, 3 Thunder cards, 2 dodges and a block, and then a whole bunch of move cards that you basically use to do your moves during the game, all of which will support Jeff Jarrett, who did spend time in the WWF incidentally, as well as WCW. Now, as we move into the other deck here, this is a buff Bagwell deck. He is a dude on the front of the box, incidentally. I don't know enough about this game to really tell you too much about whether he's that much better than Jeff Jarrett. But I will say, of all the old games I'm opening, this is one of the ones that's piqued my interest the most. And there is a booster box that I've seen for sale online that might have my name on it. If I get it, we'll do an opening. Now, does Buff Bagwell like punching as much as Jeff Jarrett? Let's see, shall we? We got a belly-to-belly suplex, so we got another one of those, and we got another one of those. Apparently, we have 4 of them. We then have a swinging neck breaker. Oh, no, we got more than one of those. Seems like... oh, 3 of those. Because why would the counts be standard? And we got ourselves 1 body slam, but only 1. Bit of the old moonsault. Apparently, he's kind of a flippy dude. Oh, 450 splash is back. We saw that in the other deck as well. Oh, a second... oh, no, we got more than 1 flying elbow from the top rope here. Oh, maybe we did in the other deck, actually. We got that card's back as well. We got a drop kick. In fact, we got 3 drop kick. A regular kick. Goes nicely with regular punch, I suppose. It's all in the mind. Okay, apparently the cards are at the back. Do we only have 2 thunder cards here? We got 2 dodge. Is there not another thunder card? Ah, yeah, there is. I put them at the back. So we got a block. We got 2 dodge and a block. We do have 3 thunder cards and then Nitro. So both these decks are rather similar. They both have a bunch of Nitro. 14 apparently. Nitro, for those who don't know, so back in the day, so like you've got SmackDown and Raw are the big WWE TV shows throughout the week. Back in the day with WCW, it was Thunder and Nitro. They were the 2 main TV shows, so that's why you got Nitro cards and Thunder cards. And then we just got a bunch of move cards. It is a game that really interests me. I mean, you look nowadays, you've got stuff like Dragon Ball, where you've got the leader and then a bunch of other cards. You've got stuff like Transformers, where you've got your Transformers out at the start, and that is a Wizards of the Coast game as well, and then your separate deck. Though it doesn't have Nitro cards and dodging cards and blocking cards and all of that, so maybe it's a little bit different. But there's more than a couple of trading card games where you basically have your leader, or whatever you want to call it, out at the beginning of the game, and then you just have a deck of cards supporting that particular leader. Either way, this is a game that really interests me. The starter decks are pretty bare bones. You just get 2 decks and a playmat and a rulebook. It's not like the other ones we've been opening recently. We get like comics and stuff in them. But it gives you everything you need. And frankly, I kind of like it. Also, Goldberg plays the maths teacher now in The Goldbergs. That makes me kind of happy. I love that show. Right, that's the WCW Nitro trading card game 2-player starter set. Hopefully we'll have more coverage of this game in the future. I love looking at old games. We've done a few openings lately, but I do very much intend doing some learn to play videos and just some history videos looking at what the game was about, why it failed, all of that good stuff. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about WCW Nitro, and I want to know if you played it, if you've got any memories, what you think it looks like if you don't, all that kind of stuff. So go nuts in the comment section, but please remember the rule. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the WASI. That's where we talk all kinds of games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some weekly bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching WASI Plays. Bye.